Good morning, everybody. So let's start in child's pose. So this child's pose is a little bit different. I want you to do what you normally do with your knees nice and wide as they feel like they need to go. If you've got the space, put them all the way at the edges of your mat and push your hips back, your tailbone back. Walk your arms forward and then come up onto your fingers. And that's going to give you a little bit more of a suspension in your arms and just allow your shoulders to soften from there. So you've got some effort there in your hands, your fingers are tinted, and then go ahead and walk your hands a little bit farther forward. And then begin to create length here. So opposite actions, hands going forward, tailbone going back, draw your belly in towards your spine. And just hang out here for a few breaths. Allow yourself to settle into the mat, tops of your feet, your knees, tips of your fingers, your forehead. Maybe roll your head a little bit side to side. And then as your body settles into this, maybe you walk those fingertips a little bit farther forward, or maybe you're good right where you are. And begin to build some integration in your spine. Just continuing to draw that belly in, invite some length into your spine. And then let's work some length into the right side body by walking those fingers, both hands, off the mat. So you're still tinted there, fingertips only on the floor. And you can just press into the floor, send your right hip back, and then walk your hands even farther over to the left side. Breathe length, breathe space into the right side body. There's nothing to force here. Just with that integration, your belly towards your spine, allow some space to open up between the ribs. Breathe into that. And in practice this morning, try to let go of wondering what's next or getting to that next thing. Set an intention, if you choose, for just being with the pose as it is, and notice what is happening and allow whatever is going to happen. Walk your hands back through the center of the mat, keeping up on those fingertips, and then go off the mat on the left side. Maybe your head comes off onto the floor, and then continue to sink those hips back towards your heels. So you're going to get yourself organized in this and those opposite motions. Forward and to the right for your arms, for your fingers, and then back towards your heels with your tailbone. Breathe. If it's impossible to put your head down, you can slide your block, whatever that's like, under your forehead. And then walk your hands back to the center of the mat. And then press yourself up into tabletop. So set your hands underneath your wrists, underneath your shoulders, your knees underneath your hips. Draw your belly into your spine. And let's work through 5 or 6 cows and cats here. So work it with your breath. On your inhale, tip your head and your tailbone up. And on your exhale, arch your back. And I want you to bring some intention into this. So when you arch your back for cat, draw that pubic bone up towards your low ribs. We're going to work with that motion as we move through practice today. Really engaging your belly, those muscles just pulling everything together, and then relax and open it up. Still keeping your belly taut. Just one more round of this. And then find your neutral here. Draw some awareness into your spine. I want you to send your right arm forward. Keep that shoulder by your, or shoulder blade on your back, not up by your ear. Send your left leg back. Point your toes down, draw into your belly. Reach nice and long. And then on your exhale, set everything back down. Switch sides. Lift your left arm, right leg. Power this from your core, belly into your spine, right toes turned down. Flex that foot, spread the fingers, bring some energy into the fingers, press down with your right hand, and then come back to your tabletop. tuck your toes, press yourself back into the first downward facing dog. So you might lengthen your hands a little bit forward, step them forward from where they were in your tabletop. Find the appropriate length here. I'll give you a couple of breaths just to play with that. If you want more of a V-shaped dog, you can walk your hands back in, press your heels towards the floor. If you want a little bit more shallow V and a little bit more strength in your shoulders, you can walk your hands farther forward. Wherever you are, find it, and then begin to slowly walk your dog. Bending your knee, right knee, as you press the left heel down and reverse it. Now notice as you do this, the sensations that you feel in the backs of each leg. So don't hurry through. Notice any stretch. For me this morning, I feel most of the stretch in my Achilles and lower calf. You may feel it more someplace else. Just notice, breathe into that. 2 or 3 more rounds. Very aware of what's going on, just hanging in with the practice. And then come up onto, or press both heels down towards the mat first. Press the mat down and away from you. And then keep your upper body right where it is. Lift up on your toes as you inhale. Come all the way to the tips of your toes and then press your heels down as you exhale. Do that about 3 more times. Breathe in, come up, breathe out, press down. You can adjust the length of your dog here if you want to play with some different sensations. See where this works for you. 2 more times. And then as you finish, come back up on your toes again, and on your exhale, drop your heels over to the right side. On your inhale, come back to center, up on your toes. On your exhale, drop over to the left side. If you choose to just hang out on one side and wait a little while, that's fine. I'm going to keep moving a little bit side to side. This gives you an opportunity to stretch your IT bands, to stretch your side body out a little bit more. So find yourself over on the right, your right heels drop to the, or your heels drop to the right side. Hold there for a breath. Come back up to center. Drop them over to the left side. Breathe into that. And then come back up to your downward facing dog. And then begin to walk your feet up towards your hands. Notice the sensations that you feel in your hamstrings. Hands can be on those fingertips. Lift up halfway. Make your back flat. Check in with your feet. Your feet are at 12 o'clock. They may be touching. They're no wider than hips distance apart, which is 2 fist lengths if you want to measure that. Shoulders together on your back. Really draw into your belly here. And then exhale, fold. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, fold. And then press your heels down into the mat as you drop the crown of your head a little bit. Bring some sensation into those upper hamstrings. Inhale, lift up halfway. And then exhale, fold. Listen closely. Come up onto your toes. Set your feet maybe a little bit wider apart. Come up onto your toes. And then let your palms rest in the creases of your elbow. Drop your head. Now there's a little bit of balance involved here. Stay up on the balls of your feet or your toes if you can. And then exhale, stay folded. Press your heels down into the mat. We're going to come up and go down for 3 breaths. Inhale, up onto your toes. Exhale, press those heels down. Inhale, up onto your toes. Press your heels down, release your spine as you do that. Last time. Come up. Exhale, press down. Nice work. Find a little sway here, back and forth. And then come back to the center. Settle in right here. And find your squat. So turn your toes out. Keep your feet fairly close together. Okay? So you're settling your heels, or settling your hips down towards your heels. Now, If you get down this far and tend to tip forward, which is what happens to me, just come up onto your toes. Settle down a little bit more. You can put that block down here in front of you. You can bring your hands to your knees, but your heart is open. Sink low. And then on your exhale, fold forward. Keep your feet wide, right where they are. Inhale, settle in. Hold for a breath, pushing your heels towards the floor. They may not go all the way, mine aren't this morning. Exhale, fold. One more time. Inhale, sink deep. Hold here for a breath. And then exhale, fold forward. Nice work. Heel toe your feet together. So maybe they touch, maybe they're just a couple inches apart. Inhale, lift up halfway. Shoulders together on your back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise up, reach up, spread your fingers, belly into your spine. See the ceiling or sky above you. Let your shoulders drop away from your ears. And then right here, press your feet into the mat. Turn your legs on. Keep that engagement. Fold forward. Halfway lift. Belly engaged, shoulders back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise up, reach up. Exhale, fold forward. Plant your palms. Step back into high plank. Exhale for low plank. And then inhale into cobra. So let your hips come down to the floor. Press your palms down into the mat just under your shoulders. Let your gaze get just to the front of your mat. Now if you feel pain or any undue sensation in your low back, just draw your belly into your spine more or lower your shoulders a little bit. Hold here for a couple breaths. And then on your exhale, come down to the mat. Inhale, press all the way up into high plank. And exhale, back into downward facing dog. Shift forward, high plank. Exhale, low plank. Inhale, up dog or cobra. So this is cobra. Press the tops of your feet into the mat. Engage your quads, lift your hips for up dog. And then exhale, back, downward facing dog. Let's do that one more time. Shift forward, high plank. You can work it from your knees if you want. Low plank, cobra or up dog. And then exhale back for your downward facing dog. Lift your right leg nice and high. Step it to the top of the mat, right in between your hands. And bring your fingers up onto your fingertips right here, okay? Just where we were. Heart forward, heel back. Settle your hips. And then from this low lunge, continuing to work that right heel into the floor, rise up, send your fingers up, hook your thumbs, and send your hands back, shoulders back, lift your heart. Sink a little bit deeper here. And then come back to your low lunge on your fingertips, and then find that twist. So create some space between your torso and that right thigh by using your block. I'm going to use the medium setting. Pressing down underneath my left shoulder. I'm twisting to the right. Reach that right hand up, fingers spread nice and wide. Now take a couple more breaths here. Feel what you're feeling as you ground in with that right heel pressed back with the left. Draw the belly in more. Look up. And then on your next inhale, windmill up to warrior two. So let your gaze go out over your right middle finger. Jimmy flew into warrior two. Yeah, so press down here. We're not going to be here too long. Reach back, peaceful warrior. Keep the bend in that right knee, and then find your extended side angle. So you can bring your forearm down to your thigh. That left arm comes by your ear. Your bicep is just by your ear. Hold. Now keep working that right hip under. You're just sort of tacking it under as you send that left shoulder back. Hold for one more breath. Beautiful. And then release it. Set your block out of the way. Step your right foot back. Come to high plank. Low plank. Up dog or cobra. Press back. Downward facing dog. Take a breath in. Breath out. Take a breath in, come up on your toes. Breath out, press your heels back. Breath in, lift your left leg, and then step that foot lightly between your hands. And find your grounding here. Find your organization, your orientation. Fingertips into the mat. Lift your heart up off your thighs. Press the right heel back, left heel down. Set your foundation. Your gaze is just a couple feet in front of your mat, keeping some length in the back of your neck. And then come up into high line. Arms extended, fingers spread. Hook your thumbs again, different thumb. Other thumb in front this time. Press your heart forward, shoulders back. This is all coming from two places. The grounding in your feet and the engagement in your belly, and then grow up from there. Look up. Sink a little deeper. And then exhale, open into two, warrior two. So you're looking over the left middle finger here, shoulders down your back. Settle in. Engage the back of your right foot. That blade of the foot presses into the mat. Reach back for peaceful warrior. And then find your side angle. Left elbow to the left thigh. And then arm goes up and then by your ear. So very intentionally work that left hip under as you work the right shoulder back. You can probably see my right shoulder coming back towards you. That's my intention. And I'm settling those hips a little bit more. Rolling open. For 3, 2, 1, and release it. Flow through. High plank, low plank, upward facing dog, and then downward facing dog. Now, anytime you need a rest, take a couple breaths in child's pose. Come back and join us. We're going to shift forward here and roll into a modified side plank. So let both feet rotate over to the right side, just like we did in down dog earlier, and then roll over into that, lift your left hand. Send your hips towards the sky. And so on your inhale, we're going to extend up. If you need support, you can drop that right knee. On your exhale, we're going to reach through and behind us. We're going to isolate this movement right into the core. Keep those legs engaged. 3 more times. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, reach through and back. With your breath. Nice work. And then reach your left fingertips up to the sky. If you want a little bit more, you can lift that right leg, grab your right toe, and then press that heel forward. This is an option. Just going to straighten and stretch that right hamstring a little bit. And then on your exhale, bring it back. Shift to high plank. Press back. Downward facing dog. Settle into your dog here. If dog is too much, this is puppy dog, and it's going to get you most of the same benefits, keeping your hips over your knees, and then back into down dog. So now you're going to do the same thing, other side. Come up onto your toes, drop your heels to the left side, and then reach up. Hips towards the sky, engaging your core, and then reach your arm up. And then through. Inhale, extend. Exhale, rotating around your core. Very controlled movement. Inhale, extend up. Exhale. I think one more time will do it. And then coming all the way back up. You can stay here for a breath, or you can lift that left foot. Grab your toe. Extend that leg. Press the heel out. Find a little extension, a little stretch, and then release it. Come back to high plank. Press yourself back into child's pose. Now in child's pose, come up onto those fingertips, and now with your thighs and your legs and your hips a lot warmer, send that tailbone back. Yeah. And then flatten your hands. Settling in a little deeper than you were before. Notice what you can soften here. Spot between your shoulder blades. Sink your hips a little bit more. And let your breathing get very regular. Breathing in through your nose and out through your nose. Here we go. Tuck your toes. Come back up into your downward facing dog. Lift your right leg. Step it up between your hands. You've been here before into this low lunge. So settle your hips. Ground that right heel. Rise up. Heart open. Now, you're going to need your block close by. Press your shoulders back. And then find a spot straight across from you on the wall to gaze at. And we're going to move towards that spot as we come into Warrior 3. So you're going to shift forward, lifting that back leg, and come into, unless you fall out, coming into your balance pose. So arms extended, torso and lifted left leg on the same plane. If you need to support yourself, reach your hands down to your block. Hold here for one more breath. And then release into your standing half moon. So use whatever side of the block you want. I'm using the medium side. You can use the high side. Press down on the block. Reach up with your left fingers. And then bring your gaze, if you can, up towards your left fingertips. Hold for another breath. And then exhale, forward fold. Set your feet hips distance apart. Bring that block down in front of your face. Plant the right hand on the block medium side or higher. Bend that right knee. And then put your hand on your left hip. Open your heart towards the left side of the mat. Shoulder, that top shoulder drops down towards the bottom one. So you're going to feel some lengthening in that left hamstring. Reach your left arm up to the sky. Spread your fingers. Exhale, switch sides. So grab that left hand on the block now. Straighten your right leg. Bend the left. Draw into your belly. And you need to lengthen out a little bit, so make sure your spine's not rounding. So I'm setting that block a little bit closer to the front of the mat to keep a nice long spine. Drive that right heel into the mat. Nice. Release it. Find your ragdoll arms. A little swaying side to side. Nice. And then release fingertips to the floor. Heel toe your feet closer together. Lift halfway. Shoulder blades onto your back. Exhale, step back. High plank. Low plank. Inhale, up dog or cobra. I'm beginning to sweat a little bit. Exhale back. Downward facing dog. Now find some space in your down dog. Every one I've done, and I don't know what you're feeling, but what I'm feeling on my mat is that my muscles are getting worn and they're opening up a little bit. So I can press into the ground a little bit more and feel that as it stretches my hamstrings and calves, Achilles, kind of some softness between my shoulders. And then lift your left leg, bring it through, set it as lightly as possible between your hands, up on your fingertips, heart forward, right heel back, left heel towards the earth. Inhale, rise. Keeping your hips low here. Open out. So now see the wall or whatever's in front of you, and then spring from your right foot forward, and then come into that Warrior 3. Again, you can bring your fingers down to some support below you if you want that. Turn your right hip down, those toes come down. Reach out nice and long. And then slowly bring that left hand down to your block and open out into that standing half moon. Right fingertips up, left fingertips grounded. Hold for another breath, and then fold forward. Nice work, y'all. Beautiful. Just let everything hang out a little bit here. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise. Reach up. Arms extended, fingers to the sky. And then bring that right knee up into your heart. So into stork pose. So your gaze can go in front of you or it can go to the ceiling. Exhale, set it back down, just that easy. Arms by your sides, shoulders on your back. Do it again, other side. Lift the left knee up, press that right foot down. Opposite motions, opposite forces. Down with the right, up with the left knee. Exhale, set it all the way down. Nice work. Let's do one more. Balance pose here. So we're going to work our way into dancer to get a little front quad stretch. So standing, arms by your sides. Lift your left arm, palm faces forward. Send your right arm out to the side so there's a little bend or a right angle bend here. So reach in, grab inside your ankle or your foot, bring that knee down towards the floor. And then kick down and back as you reach forward. Let your gaze go over your fingers. Maybe you find some stability pressing into a wall, furniture. Kick back more, reach more. And then on your exhale, release it. Let it go. Switch sides. Lift your right arm. Grab the inside of that left foot or ankle with your left hand. Kick down into it as you reach forward and kick back. You can feel yesterday's workout in my quads. Press into that foot. That's pressing into the mat. Kick back more. Let it go. All the way back to standing. Nice work. Find your equal standing pose. Close your eyes, stand nice and tall. Tuck your belly. And then open your eyes. We're going to make our way back down to the floor. Inhale, reach up and look up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, step back, high plank. Press back, downward facing dog. Okay, so lift that right leg. Bring that right knee to the right elbow. Inhale, send it back up. Listen carefully. Exhale, send it to the left elbow. Inhale, up. This time, send it to the right wrist. Make that connection here at your wrist and then lift it up to your elbow and then shoot it back up to the sky. Same thing, left side. Bring it to the left wrist. Draw up and then extend back up. And then bring that right foot back down. Something a little bit different for your core. Inhale, extend your left leg up. Exhale, bring it to your left elbow, shifting forward. Inhale, extend up. Bring it across, right elbow. Inhale, send it up. And exhale, bring it to that left wrist. And then draw it up. Hold. And extend. One more time on the right side. There. Lift it to the elbow. Extend up nice and tall. Beautiful. Bring that left foot down to the mat. Walk your feet forward and just come down onto your mat with your block. So I want to do a couple of back bends, and I'm going to offer supported back bends. So if you have a block or whatever you're working with, if you have a like a 12-pack container or something like that, you might want to wrap a towel around it to make it a little softer. So we're going to work into supported bridge. So you're going to bring your feet in close to your glutes, and then lift your hips up, roll your shoulders together, and then take the block and just slide it in to your sacrum. So I've done this particular pose a lot. It's comfortable for me to do the long edge of the block. You can do the medium. The low doesn't really give you much of a sensation, but you can use it if you need. And so walk your feet in, spread your toes, press them down, and then connect your heels, all four corners of your feet with the mat. Roll your shoulders together, and then find a spot in the sky or on the ceiling, and just breathe. And this is it. This is the pose. So we've been moving a good bit in this practice. Things are slowing down now. So bring your awareness into your body. What are you feeling in your hips? What are you feeling in your connection with the floor, with the earth? Wherever that is, your shoulders, hopefully not your neck, the back of your head, your feet. Keep the engagement in your belly. And then if you want a little bit more of a back bend here, if you've had some back soreness, then go ahead and play with just walking your feet a little bit farther forward. This is going to give you some good stretch, but it's predicated on keeping your belly engaged, okay? So you can extend your legs out like this with your feet pointed. It's going to give you a little front quad stretch, a little low back stretch. If you're feeling pain there, tighten your belly or walk out of it. About 5 or 6 more breaths here, wherever you feel like you need to be. You can stay with your legs extended, or you can bring them back in so that your heels are under your knees. Turn your toes in. And then as you do that, you're going to get a little bit lighter on the block. Lift your hips up. Slide the block out. Set it aside. And then find your happy baby. So grab the outside blades of your feet. Pull your knees down towards the floor. Press your shoulders down. You rock a little bit side to side, grounding in a little bit more. Pull your knees closer, and then shift to butterfly. So you're going to keep your knees where they are. Bring the soles of your feet into your mat. Interlace your fingers outside your feet or outside your. You can pull on your ankles if you need to. Let your knees go out to the side. You're ready for this pose. Your legs are ready. And then we'll work into some hip openers here on your back. So we're going to find half pigeon or pigeon pose on your back. Just cross that right leg over. Reach your right hand through the hole you made there. Interlace your fingers in front of your shin or behind that left thigh. Flex your right foot and then pull in. We're going to be here about 5 or 6 breaths. You can create more sensation by pressing out on that right knee with your elbow, if that's what you choose. And then switch sides. Just as simple as changing the cross of your legs. Left hand reaches through the hole you created there. Interlace your fingers outside your right shin or behind your right thigh. And again, option to press out on that left knee with your elbow. Both feet flex here. Keep that knee safe and strong. And let it go. So you can roll forward and back. I want you to come up to a seat. And we're going to work into a little different hip opener. So it's deer pose. So what I want you to do is from sitting, I want you to bring that right knee over towards the left side of the mat. And then bring that left leg back behind you and bend it. So the knee, the left knee is going to be in the arch of the right foot or close to that. So you've got pretty much right angles here. This one's a little bit more than right, but close to a right angle bend in both legs. And then turn your heart towards the right front corner of your mat and begin to walk forward. This is also another good place for your block. You can bring your head all the way to the mat, but if not, just put the block under your chest or under your head, wherever it feels appropriate. I want you to feel a sensation in that outer right hamstring, but I don't want it to light you up. I want it to be noticeable. I want you to just breathe into it, let gravity do the work here. The only thing you're keeping engaged is that core, and your shoulders rotate so that they face the floor. And if coming up, you might want to come over to the right even more, or if that's too much, you can come back into the center a little bit. But I want to keep space between your right thigh and your torso. 4 breaths. And then walk your hands back under your shoulders. Press that right hand down directly under your right shoulder, and then reach back with your left hand, press up on your knees. Open that up, release it just a little bit, set everything back down, and switch sides. So find your deer pose on the other side. So you're gonna bring that, and I'll turn the other way so that you can see. You're gonna bring that left knee to the right side of the mat. Right knee comes into the arch of that left foot. Get nice and tall here. And you can shift those knees back so you can stay on your mat a little bit more. And then work towards the upper left corner of your mat. Drawing belly in towards your spine. And be open to the possibility of lengthening. As I sit in these poses, you know, there's an opportunity as the gravity does the work and your breath and your belly lock do the work. There's an opportunity to get in deeper. Or if you don't actually move deeper, to feel something more right where you are. So breathe into that. 3 more breaths here. And then inhale, make your way up, plant that left wrist under your left shoulder, reach up, lift your hips, open up, find stretch across your heart, right side body as well, set it all down, and then bring that left knee, I've decided now what I want to do, bring that left knee into the center. Shift your hips a little bit to the left so both your sitting bones are planted, and then set that right foot outside the knee. Sit up nice and tall, reach your left arm up, and then on your exhale, bring that elbow in, hook it to the outside of the right knee, plant the right hand behind you, and with your inhale, get long, and with your exhale, twist. So you're looking back behind you, and I want you to think about the outside edge of your left eye. So bring the gaze from that part of your eye right behind you. So you can work on your fingertips back here if that's helpful. 3 more breaths. And come back to center. Yeah, switch sides. So you're going to bend that right knee, place the knee directly in front of you, shift your hips to the right so that left sit bone comes down, and then plant your left foot here. So reach up with your right hand, bend the elbow, tuck it outside your left knee, get tall and twist. Now the more you breathe regularly and the more you draw into your core, the more is going to happen here. And let that outer corner of your right eye find its spot, gazing over your left shoulder directly behind you. One more breath. And release it. Come back to center. Roll down onto your back. Make sure you got your block close by. And let's find a restorative inversion. So this is a waterfall. So you can do this without the block, but it feels better to me to have my hips on a block. And all I'm gonna do is just extend my legs straight up, flex them, and let my arms open, my heart open, backs of my hands onto the mat. If you want a little bit more here, you can extend your arms up, becomes a dead bug. We're gonna be here about 4 breaths. If there's a more aggressive inversion that you'd like, if you've got something else in your practice, like a headstand or handstand, you can go there for about 4 more breaths. This gives an opportunity for the blood to reverse directions. So in our waking hours, the blood is really working hard to pump up, and now it gets to pump down a little bit into those veins, arteries, back to your heart, back to your brain. Last one. And then bring your feet down to the floor. If you got a block under your hips, get rid of it. And then one fold before we make our way into our final rest. Extend your legs straight out in front of you. Sit up nice and tall. And then take your hands and just move any flesh out from under your sitting bones. Reach your fingers up to the sky. Exhale, fold forward. Grab your feet, grab your ankles, grab your calves, whatever you got there. Inhale to get long. Exhale, fold. 2 more times. And on your inhale, come up, lie all the way back. And find your final spinal twist. Today I'm going to offer pulling that right knee up into your heart, dropping it to the left side. So when you pull it up, go ahead and shift your hips a little bit to the right. That's going to give you a little bit more opening here. Since you've got your block, you can turn it up on the high side and bring that right knee on top of it. And just let that right hand extend, right arm extend, and let your gaze go over that arm. And switch sides. Move your block to the other side if you're using that. Straighten the right leg. Pull the left knee into your heart, nice and high, and then drop it. Maybe you slide your hips a little bit to the left. Ground it there. Extend that left arm out. And then release it. Pull both knees up into your heart. Give them a nice squeeze. Lift your head up so that your forehead or your eye sockets come to your knees. Draw in even tighter. And then on your exhale, release all the way out. Find your Shavasana. Let your belly release. Let all your muscles just relax. Bring your arms down by your sides. Feel that connection with the earth, and release everything else. And just allow gravity to pull your body down into the earth. And take your rest, Shavasana. Begin to make your way up to seated. Nice and slow, finding whatever movement you need to get you there. Take your time, take 3 or 4 or 5 breaths. Bring your hands on your knees, let your shoulders roll down onto your back. Lift your heart. And then bring your hands together at the center of your heart. Thank y'all for practicing today. So, in gratitude for what you do on your mat, and gratitude for this community and for this practice, we lift our thumb knuckles up to the center of our forehead. Namaste.